of the Sharyland Volleyball Tournament, and welcome to the early games of the day. Our first game is set for Los Fresnos taking on PSJA Southwest. Lady Falcons ended up running the table in their pool play yesterday, and they'll stay on this court. Southwest was in a struggle last night when last we saw them taking on Brownsville Rivera. They battled through that and advanced into this gymnasium, which is the primary gym, which is eventually where the championship game will be played. Right now we're still on a split screen, and we've got the camera at a wide angle to handle the beginning of this game. Southwest will be in the gray uniforms with the white trim, and the Lady Falcons will be in the maroon with the gold trim as we get set to start this broadcast here today. Pool play throughout the day today, and then they'll head into bracket play on tomorrow, and eventually we will be getting to the championship game, which they'll extend the court here on the main gym floor, and we'll have that championship game played out. Best 2 out of 3, we go to 25, a cap of 30 in games 1 and 2. If we get to 15, we go to, or if game 3, we go to 15, and we have a cap there at 20. Serve over, and away we go. Southwest will set it up and hit it over. We covered the Southwest team a lot during the summer, and they were a competitive club when we saw them in action over at the Donna, the Highway 83 RGV volleyball leagues that were taking place throughout the summer. Falcons, we saw them last night against Los Fresnos, and they were challenged to say the least as they get a kill that goes across there by Jasmine Garcia and ties the game at 1 apiece. Tate Halford rotates back to the service line. Halford will be serving up. Again, this team was tested last night. Harlingen had them on the ropes and nearly knocked them off in 2 games. Lady Falcons came back and won a thrilling game 2 to force game 3, and then won that one. Even that was a close game as those 2 district teams representing District 32 6A gave fans a little preview of perhaps some highlight action that's coming up later on in the year. Southwest again weave their way through the brackets. They made it over here as that kill goes out of bounds and ties this up at 2 apiece. PSJA on the other court to our right side taking on Westaco. We'll be switching back and forth between courts again throughout the day. And once our camera operators get in place, we'll put these cameras in motion. That spike goes into the net by Jasmine Garcia. Yesterday we started at 2 o'clock. Today a 12 o'clock start. So a little earlier, but it's not like those tournaments we've been covering the past 3 weeks, which teams were having to come back in at 9 a.m. and find a way to get back on track. Still mid-afternoon is tournament timing, meaning that you're not in that normal sync as that hit lands in for the Southwest Javelinas, and they go up 4-2 early here in game 1. For the Javelinas, back to the service line is Blanca Melendez. Melendez to serve this up, gets it across in the direction of Halford, passes it to Garcia. Over to Mia Brown, punches it over. The Lady Javelinas one-hand that over on the back row, covered nicely by Corey Reyes. Now Brown on the attack from the left side, puts that down and in for the point for the Lady Falcons of Los Fresnos. 4-3 ball game as Gio Godoy will check into the game for Los Fresnos. And sending back to the service line, Jasmine Garcia. Wolverines, check that the Javelinas are back there as that ball is punched into the net, and a point for Los Fresnos. Lady Falcons tie the game here at 4 apiece as we are just underway here in game number 1 of this series. That one carries out of bounds, and a 5-4 lead now for the Lady Falcons of Los Fresnos. Appreciate you joining in on wherever you may be watching this game from. Any of our social media sites, as that's going to be another ace scored up for the Lady Falcons of Los Fresnos on a rotation there. Wherever you're watching, if you're watching on our Facebook, please share the link to other fans that may not know these games are going on. If you're on our YouTube channel, if you're heading in that direction, be sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel so you can see the games that are being played out. And always remind you to download the Roku version of Rio Sports Live through the VTX1 application on your Roku television. Allows you full access to our programming 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, whether it's live or pre-recorded content. It's there on our Roku channel. Our website, of course, is growing every day. We also encourage you to go to realsportslive.com to check out what's the latest there. That hit goes out of bounds by the Southwest. And now suddenly, it's an 8-4 game. Los Fresnos on top. Timeout called. Javelinas want to talk it over. Game 1 of the best-of-3 series. Day 2 of the tournament in Sharyland. Volleyball action continues right after this on Real Sports Live. Going to bring it back here after a quick timeout was called. I want to thank all of our advertising sponsors that are in place for our games here on Real Sports Live as we continue to roll out expanded coverage in a bigger and bigger way. We'll also have tournament action today for a second day in Hidalgo. The Lady Falcons pick right back up where they left off. They score another point out of the timeout. They're up 9-4, and Jasmine Garcia continues to serve away here in game 1. Deep serve this time. Returned by the Javelinas, still on the back row. They can't set up a big attack. That one eases over and lands for the point off the hand of Natalie Garcia. And so while it wasn't a big kill, it was a well-placed hit that ends the serving of Garcia. Back to the service line now is Karen Prado. Puts that over. That's off the back row. Halford races back to keep that alive. Brown puts it over. Javelinas tip it over on the other side. Godoy was there to play that. Javelinas now work it over on the Los Fresnos side. Falcons good chance here to set up the big hit in the middle. Block back at you. In the net, though, called, and a point scored for the Lady Falcons of Los Fresnos. The big spike attempt was set up. The block was in place, but in the net call. Lady Falcons to serve as Cadence Castillo stands back at the service line. Puts that in play with a deep serve. Javelinas working on a back set this time on the left side off the block. That's a kill and a point scored off the hand of Natalie Garcia. Garcia with the kill. We thank the fine friends at Hacienda Ford. I was over there visiting today at the dealership. And Hacienda Ford jumping on board, one of our sponsors here in Edinburgh, Texas. And be sure if you're out in the search of a new car or a used car or vehicle, service on your car, or anything that car related in this case, Hacienda Ford, the good friends in Edinburgh, jumping on board in a big way. You'll see more and more representation of Hacienda Ford as one of our title sponsors here on Real Sports Live. And our thanks in a big way to them for being a part of what we're doing. Let's see their commercials running. They got some pretty cool ones we just started yesterday, incorporating a football mix. Spike across on the back row by the Javelinas. Falcons work it up forward to Halford. Tip back over. Javelinas go on the attack with a back set. Nice play by the Falcons to keep that one. They almost got caught off guard. Ball at the net. High set. Tate Halford puts it down. Covered nicely by the Javelinas, and the rally continues. Back we come the other way. Another set for Halford. Swings away again and got the point for the Falcons of Los Fresnos. Halford on the kill. Good defense that time by the Southwest Javelinas just to keep that ball in play. Serve across, aced up for Los Fresnos. Lady Falcons go up by 5. Make it 6. 13-7 game. Back to serve is Ari Gallardo. This gym gets quiet when that other court stops. It's noon, but you still get that early morning feel as that's another ace served up by the Lady Falcons, and their serves have played a part in them extending this lead now to 8 points in game 1. What we saw this Southwest team throughout the summer is that they're a team that gets in a rhythm and can score points in bunches. If you can keep them backpedaling, you got the advantage, but it's in your best interest to maintain that advantage. Don't let them up because they can get it going. Halford, that's blocked back at her. Javelina's trying to set it up. Second hit over, though, and they'll call that a lift on the Javelinas. Another point to Los Fresnos. This Falcon team, we've seen them grow throughout the tournaments we've covered. Fortunately, we've been able to see them in all 3 tournaments they've participated in, starting with the McAllen Pound Fest and then switching gears as they were in the championship game eventually down at the Volley at the Beach in Port Isabel. That's a spike across by the Javelinas. That's out of bounds, though. They went for the bigger swing and just missed. So this Falcon team, we've seen them also in action on a home game. We've had a lot of coverage of Los Fresnos volleyball here to start this season. The ball rolls in from the other court. They should blow this play dead. They didn't, and they will allow the play to continue and score a point to the Javelinas. They haven't posted the point, so they did reset it. That's a dangerous situation when that ball comes rolling in like that from the other court. High set for Halford, punches it over. Back row coverage that time as that's Clarissa Sanchez with a hand on it. Halford now with a pass. They'll set it up middle for Godoy. Tips it past the blockers. Back row there to cover that as digging it was Jackie Soto. Ball at the net, punched over. Right back over on the Falcon side, they'll go to work. Good chance here for the Javelinas. The pass is there. The set is high in the middle. Sidestepping the setter, though. No approach really for Natalie Garcia. Whistle blows and a point to the Javelinas. 2 hits called on the Falcons. And it wasn't because of the big crunching hit delivered by Garcia. As she had to do some dancing there just to get around the setter to get in position to hit that ball over. Halford with a pass. They'll set her right back. Tate Halford looking for the back corner. Javelinas there to play that. PSJA Southwest back on the Los Fresnos side. And they'll attack it center to Godoy. Gio Godoy gets it over. Another dig this time by Clarissa Sanchez on the back row. Ball back on the Falcon side. Set it far side for Halford. Rips one down there, but it's covered on a dig by Jackie Soto. Here come the Falcons again on the attack. Again, Godoy, this time partially blocked. Javelinas trying to set it up in the middle. Garcia gets it over. Halford digs it off the net. They'll set it up to Godoy again. Off the block. Javelinas there to cover it. This rally continues. High set here on the far side. Spike attempt by Angela Clerch. Ball back on the Falcon side. Here's Halford again. Dug again by the Javelinas. Back over. Point scored from the back row as Karen Prado puts it away. By far the longest rally of this game as the Javelinas of PSJA Southwest outduel the Los Fresnos Lady Falcons for that point. Serve over, a deep serve. They'll let that stay in, and that lands for an ace for the Javelinas. Acing that serve. And back to serve again is Clarissa Sanchez. Sanchez to put it into play for the Javelinas. Deep arcing serve. That one does carry out of bounds on the back row. And a point scored for the Los Fresnos Lady Falcons. Javelinas. Another point scored for the Lady Falcons. It's now an 18-10 game. Serve over by the Falcons. A high back set for the Javelinas. Hit over on the Falcons side. Set it up in the middle. Garcia puts that over. Played by the Javelinas off the net. Coming across. Back row there to dig that. That time as Corey Reyes back there, the libero. Javelinas fighting for this point too. Falcons on the attack. Garcia puts it away with a kill. Takes it right off the back row defense. Jasmine Garcia on the kill. Game 1 here of this best of 3 series. And now a timeout called. 20-10, Los Fresnos on top. Hey, my camera crew showed up. They woke up. It's only noon, right? All right, we'll be back after this. Back here on Rio Sports Live after a timeout. Falcons serve it up. Javelina's on the return of serve, put it up into the net, and a point for Los Fresnos. So this Los Fresnos team now putting things together. And the lead is now 12. 12-10 for the Falcons of Los Fresnos as Corey Reyes gets ready to serve again. Reyes gets it over. Javelina is on the return, set it on a back set, tipped over. Falcons right there to play that. Set it up for Tate Halford on that left side, puts it down. Halford on the kill. Lady Falcons now up at 23-10. Another serve coming up for Los Fresnos. Corey Reyes puts that into play. Deep serve and punch back over. Falcons there to cover that. Set it up for Halford again, and she connects again with another. 24-10, another kill for Tate Halford. Falcons looking good here in game one. Again, I can't stress it enough. They were thoroughly tested by Harlingen yesterday and nearly were knocked out of the first place in that pool as both teams were 1-0. Ace served up. Falcons win game one, 25-10. They did it convincingly. Javelinas are a better team than what they just showed. We'll see if they can regroup. Falcons trying to close it out in two after this.
Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready for the prices? It's a Labor Day party.
It's the Hacienda Ford Labor Day sale where you can get a new Ford Expedition with 20-inch wheels, leather, navigation, and more for $12,000 off MSRP.
We got the tailgates down and we're feeling all right. My Hacienda friends are saving money tonight.
Hacienda has it.
Start the new year off right. Alpha Men's Primary Care wants to remind all men it's time for your annual physical. Call to schedule an appointment. It's about the body, mind, and emotion. Stop feeling sluggish, having no energy, or being stressed. Alpha Men's Healthcare believes in a holistic approach to your overall health. Even if you have low testosterone, diabetes, high blood pressure, or gained weight, let Alpha Men's Primary Care help you increase your energy, stamina, endurance, and quality of life. Start feeling young again. Alpha Men's Primary Care is changing the way men's healthcare is done.
Hi, we're Robert Miller's favorite cats, and thank you for watching Real Sports Live.
Hola, les habla su amigo Benjamín Gómez, el alcalde de San Benito, invitando a toda la gente que venga a visitarnos aquí a San Benito. Crucen por el puente Los Indios, más bien conocido como el puente de Lucio Blanco. Visítenos a las atracciones que tenemos aquí en San Benito. Aquí los esperamos. Muchas gracias, su amigo Benjamín Gómez.
South Padre Island Golf Club. Come for a visit. Stay for a lifetime.
Music lovers, you have to stop and see the assortment of records, tapes, and records memorabilia at Forever Memories today. Located at 237 North Sam Houston in San Benito, Texas, there's over 10,000 records on display and more coming every day. Looking for your favorite album from the past, first pressings, collectibles? How about a 45 with a single you just have to have? Freddie Fender, Johnny Cash, Hank Williams, Elvis, Beatles, blues, rock, classics, Tejano, it's all here. Organized and priced for you. Forever Memories, 237 North Sam Houston, San Benito. Back here as we continue coverage of the tournament in Sharyland. First hit down by Jasmine Garcia for the Lady Falcons of Los Fresnos. And that's the way we start off with a lightning strike for the Falcons here in game 2. Right now on our other broadcast going on at the same time as this one's handling it, we have PSJA North and Juarez Lincoln squared off from Hidalgo. Encourage fans to go back and forth and check out our broadcast from each of our venues as we expand the coverage. If I had another camera operator today, I could have set sail for another gym or another tournament, and I really wanted to be out at Laredo today and have coverage from that tournament. That's coming. It's really close to us being able to pull that one off. Points scored for the Javelinas as we are in the early stages of game number 2. Next serve across by Blanca Melendez. Over on the Falcon side at the middle, tipped over. Javelinas with a good chance here for a scoring shot, but a miss on the set. Ball back over on the Falcon side, punched out of bounds. Circle that as just a missed chance there for the Javelinas. As that ball was an easy read for their setter. Serve over on the return of serve. Racing back to get to that, Angela Clerks puts that on a back set towards the front of the net. Played by the Falcons. On the right side, punch that over. Another good chance here for the Javelinas. High set this time on the outside with the left hand. Over on the Falcon side. Point scored on a kill by Amanda Fernandez. Javelinas up on top here, 3-2. Right-handed serve across, just across. Somehow the Falcons of Los Fresnos able to keep it in play. Javelinas coming right back at you at the middle. Down it goes on a kill by Natalie Garcia. Garcia didn't miss that chance for the Javelinas. Who extended out to a 4-2 lead. Deep serve, returned by Reyes. Ball up at the middle. Garcia gets that over, dug by the back row. High set off the net this time, and in the net it goes on a attempt by Fernandez. Our football coverage starts on Thursday, fans, as we've got football games coming. We'll be in Brownsville to see Pace and Sharyland, two playoff teams from last year, both returning a ton of players. We'll have that with live video. Our first feature Friday night game, I got the okay, I got my spot. I'll see you in Mission. I'll be at Mission Veterans taking on Mission, and if you're planning on going to that one, fans, good luck. They sold out the stadium, but we'll have coverage there from Rio Sports Live. I'll be there live bringing you the audio version of that game. Mia Brown puts that over. That's in for a point for the Lady Falcons, and it's a 5-4 game. We'll also have a crew broadcasting on Friday night from Sharyland as Harlingen's taking on Sharyland. Trying to think of where all the other games are at. Well, why don't I just tell you? We got my schedule right here in front of me, and I can go right down it. Spike off the block this time for the Javelinas is good. On Thursday, yours truly will be at Brownsville for Sharyland at Pace. On Friday, I'll be at Mission for Mission versus Mission Vets. And on Saturday, I'll be back in Brownsville for Mac High taking on Lopez. I'll also have a crew at Flower Bluff taking on PSJA. That'll be on Thursday. We'll have a crew at Raymondville for La Feria and Raymondville. That'll be a good matchup. That'll be on Friday night here broadcasting football. Also on Friday night, we'll have someone at Harlingen South for Edinburgh. And also on Friday night, how about PI at Porter? And that'll be our first week of broadcast football games for you, the fans. Just getting started. Volleyball, we reached our 100th volleyball game we've covered already this season in the month of August yesterday. Volleyball fans, we won't let you down. Tournaments may be concluding, but we'll continue with our Tuesday, Saturday coverage of volleyball as that serve goes into the net and ties us up at 6 apiece. I got tired just reading that, knowing we're all we've got to be over this week and leading into next Thursday for this football. Ball goes into the net, point to the Javelinas of Southwest, and PSJA Southwest now sticking with this Los Fresnos team after falling in game 1. Serve across is a good one, played by the Falcons. High set in the middle. Godoy tries to put that away. Covered nicely by Jackie Soto. Ball up into the rafters. They'll call 2 hits and a point to the Falcons, and we're tied again at 7 apiece. 7-7 your score. Corey Reyes to serve again. Gets it over there. Javelinas on the return of serve. Set it up on the right side, and that's hit too hard. Out of bounds off Angela Clerch. Yesterday, I was walking past the Los Fresnos team as they were in between games. And it was funny because Coach was over there and she was eating some M&Ms. I was like, hey, I want some of those in the hospitality room. As I came back across, as Garcia puts that away. As I came back across, Coach Becky Wood was like, hey, Joe. Or no, she said, hey, you. I was like, what, you? She goes, hey, here. And she had another bag of M&Ms. So I was able to eat some M&Ms throughout the day yesterday. Well, this morning, I'm in here setting up. All of a sudden, one of her players comes running up and say, hey, Coach is superstitious. And she had a bag of M&Ms. I got them here in my pocket for the rest of the day. So, hey, if the Falcons keep winning and I keep going to Falcon game, it looks like I'm going to be supplied with M&Ms just based on the coach's superstition. That hit goes into the net. Point scored for the Southwest Javelinas. And they'll serve now, trying to tie this up. Angela Clerk's back at the service line. Gets it across. Ball up high at the net. That's going to be a point for the Javelinas. And this is much different than what we saw in game 1. It was close for the first 2 or 3 points. And from there, the Falcons jumped out, grabbed onto a lead, and just extended on for what was a relatively easy win. Halford tips that over. Javelinas keep it in play. Will scramble. Now the Falcons with a golden opportunity here. Watch out for Garcia. Puts it off the block, got the point. You could sense they were going to go to Garcia, center set. And she didn't miss on that kill. Back of the service line. Clarissa Escobar will put it into play for the Lady Falcons of Los Fresnos. Short serve across, played by the Javelinas of PSJA Southwest at the center of the net, tipped over. That's going to be 2 hits. 2 touches that time on the Lady Javelinas. And Los Fresnos extends the lead to a couple. Next serve across, down the line, this time for the Javelinas. Set it up, and the big kill attempt is down and in for a point as Karen Prado secures that point. Prado on the kill. Javelinas have now matched their point output from game 1, which again is an indicator just to how much better they're faring here in game 2. Serve over. Reyes with the pass. Tough chance for the setter. That's Escobar. She got it into play. Javelinas with a much better look at the kill. And they get it done. Another kill for Garcia. Or Prado, that is. Prado on another kill. Back to serve is Blanca Melendez. Melendez ready to go. Falcons on the return, right on the money with that pass. Back set for Halford, down the line. How about that diving play by Blanca Melendez to keep it alive? Ball back on the Falcons side. A high set for Mia Brown. That's tapped off the block, and that secures a point for the Falcons. Mia Brown just kind of quietly rotates to the front of the row when you've got Halford and Garcia sitting there outside with Halford, middle with Garcia, and then all of a sudden they'll back set like they did there and go to Brown to finish it off. Spike across on the angle. That's down and in for a point for Karen Prado. So Prado with a great rotation through the front row that time for the Javelinas. And now she'll step back to serve, looking to take the lead for PSJA Southwest. We'll stay on this court for the next game as Sharyland will be involved in play. We're going to try to give the Sharyland fans a little extra coverage of their team today. Serve over, a deep serve. That's going to be picked up by Halford. Gets it over by Garcia. Javelinas, good chance here at the middle. Nice dig that time by Halford. They'll blow the whistle, though, in the net called on PSJA Southwest. Chance that time for Natalie Garcia to put that away. But on the air in the net, Falcons regain the lead. Garcia serves it over. Pass by Prado. Back set this time. Again, they're looking for Garcia on that front row. Middle set for Godoy for the Falcons. High back set this time. That's Prado. Gets it over. Played by the Falcons of Los Fresnos. Mia Brown, one hands that over, looking for the back corner, just edged it out of bounds. Brown, you could see there, didn't leave her feet, but still was squared up. Just carried that a little far. You let off on that another 6 inches. That falls in play and results in a point on the other side of the scoreboard. Point scored for the Falcons there. They're up one at 14-13. Back into the game is Cadence Castillo to serve. Castillo ready to serve it up. Short serve across. Ball off the net. Spiked over, and that's going to carry out of bounds. And a point for the Lady Falcons of Los Fresnos. Fans, don't forget the next big event in San Benito is Saturday, September 25th. Or 21st, that is. We'll get more on that in a moment. Serve across, played by the Javelinas on a tap. Falcons keep it alive. Ball at the net, tapped across again. Point scored Southwest. 1 point game at 15-14. Javelinas to serve it as Amanda Fernandez is back at the service line. Left-handed server. On the money pass for the Falcons. Center set, Gio Godoy. Good play by the Javelinas to cover that on that front row. Angela Clerks to keep that alive. Set it this time for the Falcons on the far side to Gallardo. Javelinas there to get that and get it over for the point and tie the game at 15 apiece. Back to the net, and anytime you turn your back to the net in the sport of volleyball, it takes an athletic play and a whole lot of muscle memory to secure a point like that. That one carries out of bounds. Falcons regain the lead at 1 at 16-15. Back to serve as Gallardo gets it across. Javelinas on a back set at the middle. Tipped over on the Falcons side. Set it up on the right side. A kill across by Clarissa Escabel is covered. Javelinas back over on the Falcons side. A set for Tate Halford, who rotated back forward, and she puts it down. Halford from the outside left, able to put that one down. Another serve for Ari Gallardo. Deeper serve. Javelinas on a back set at the middle. Tip it off the block. Godoy keeps it alive. Halford saves it. Back on the Javelina side, a better set middle, tipped again. Right there's Halford, punched back over on the Javelina side. Up high near the net, edged over by Blanca Melendez. Falcons now set it up for Halford off the net. Angles it. Nice pick that time by Wendy Gonzalez for the Javelinas. Ball back over on the Falcons side, a high set middle, Godoy. Diving play on the back row, nothing doing, point scored. Effort by Jackie Soto, just couldn't keep it in play, and the Falcons score the point. Serve over by Los Fresnos. Played by the Javelinas off the net, over on the Falcons side. Ball up at the net, Halford spikes it across. That's going to be a point scored for the Javelinas. as they'll call a lift or 2 touches on the Falcons of Los Fresnos. Back to serve is Natalie Garcia. Garcia lets it go. Falcons on a back set. Gallardo off the back row to Halford, punches it over. Javelin is up into the rafters, can't make that play, and a point to the Falcons. They could have played that off the rafters up on the ceiling. As long as it stays on your end of the court and it's not the third hit, that ball stays in play. Falcons serve up by 3. Short serve. Ball up at the net on a back set for the Javelinas. Good play on the back row by the Falcons. Back on the Javelina side. They'll set it up again on the Falcon side. Here comes Los Fresnos. There's Garcia. Put it away. Jasmine Garcia back to the front of the row. Falcons now the first team to reach 20 here in game 2. Back serving is Corey Reyes. Reyes. Short knuckleball serve is over, and Garcia puts that away for a point. Natalie Garcia, just an outright, just thunderous kill. And you see those big hitters, when that pass comes too far back across the net, generally it's coming back at you times 10 on the velocity. Falcons lead by 6. Reyes